can Isagi farm so much aura and be a true egoist like no other? Well, Jinpachi Ego told us his intentions with the league, and it was to bring out an evolution within his team, their true egos and weapons that would make them stronger. He declares that Isagi has the greatest ego that will change the world of football, and this is because out of all the players, Isagi figured out Jinpachi's gamble. The Blue Lock program is an experimental ground for accelerating the evolution of an egoist at an insane speed. Even in chapter 299, we see Jinpachi roast Nagi in front of everyone that he wasted his talent unlike Isagi. So throughout Blue Lock and in the Neo League, we see terms such as genius versus talented learner, self-type or world-type ego. But what does that even mean? Well, these ego types shape the characters and the way they play the matches. This is because Jinpachi treats the ego like a weapon, where he highlights this idea once again in chapter 299 when Nagi failed to do this and was too inconsistent. However, unlike him, Isagi learned how to unlock top performance in everyone. Our MC is so talented that he breaks down the mechanism behind Shidou's goal and why he entered the flow state to make such an insane play. Now, according to Blue Lock, each ego is linked to the desire of the player. The hunger to devour provides a challenge that immerses them into the game. As a result, the player will enter a flow state and their top performance since they can create the perfect scenario they envision. Now in chapter 299, we learn Nagi never did this. He was satisfied completely, which made his talent wither away. But according to Isagi, the trigger for flow varies from person to person, and by understanding this weapon, Rin declares Isagi a demon king that can manipulate it. Remember that Jinpachi stated talent is just a lump of ore. If you don't smell and polish it, it's nothing but trash. Being naturally gifted doesn't mean much if you can't perform and use the skills to score goals. Nagi is the perfect case. He pulled off one of the most ridiculous plays in the entire manga, the revolver fake volley, but even after that, Ego wasn't impressed. That goal didn't prove anything because Nagi couldn't reproduce it, and although he started off as the strongest in Blue Lock, he is now weak. And in reverse, Isagi started at rank 299 but climbed his way up by evolving. Chapter 299 showcases that Ego's system doesn't reward only geniuses. It rewards anyone who refines themselves into weapons, players who can use their skills to devour anyone in their path to victory. So the first step in Isagi's transformation was understanding the kind of ego he had. The Wholeistic Freedom ego type is what Isagi believes he has. These players thrive within a team structure, but maintain the ability to influence the game independently. They read the game as a whole and adjust their position, decisions, and actions according to the entire field. Early Isagi is the perfect example of this. He's not flashy, not particularly fast or powerful, but his football IQ is through the roof, reminiscent of Inzaghi in real life, who he's based on. Now in the selection arc, Isagi doesn't try to force Baro to change. Instead, he reads Baro's selfishness and uses it. He lets Baro draw defenders and uses the open space to score. That's textbook Wholeistic Freedom, using others' behavior and adapting to score. But in the second match against Rin, Isagi even begins to use his genius against him. Isagi starts to mirror Rin's vision, learning how to anticipate his moves and developing the earliest form of what would become Metavision. His evolution into the Demon King goes even further in the U20 match. Isagi's impact came from positioning and awareness. He simply existed in the space at the perfect moment to decide the game. Snuffy is another player who fits this ego type, where even no Noah said he is actually the best all-purpose player in the world. But what makes this ego so powerful for Isagi? Well, no matter where the game goes and how it plays out, the Wholeistic Freedom type will thrive by reading the game perfectly. That's why Snuffy's designs are just way too overpowered, and Noah said he had no clue how to stop him when he subbed himself on the game. Another reason it's too difficult and why Isagi's ego boosts his power is because Metavision works perfectly with it, as he can predict the future. For instance, remember when Isagi predicted Nico's past before Nico even knew he was gonna make it? That's spatial awareness on a supernatural level, just as Oliver IQ mentioned. So eventually, as the league continued and Isagi kept evolving, even Snuffy and Noah agreed that him Sagi can win the World Cup.